The Starship drifted silent through the shattered corridor of stars, its hull torn open like a wound that refused to close. Emergency lights flickered across metal walls scarred by plasma burns and claw marks that told a story of terror. Alien survivors pressed themselves against the far bulkhead, their eyes wide, their crests low, their breaths shallow. They whispered warnings in trembling voices about the creature loose within the ship. The deadliest wolf of the outer systems, a beast engineered by forgotten empires bred for war and released by accident. Its name translated roughly into Devourer of Moons, and no species that met it survived long enough to correct the legend. The wolf lay ahead, massive and unmoving, its fur dark as vacuum, its fangs longer than alien blades. Its chest rose only faintly, each breath a struggle, each exhale a low rumble that vibrated the deck plates. The aliens believed it was a trick, a predator feigning weakness, waiting for prey to draw near. No one dared approach, not even the armored soldiers who had fought wars across 100 systems. They had seen what it did when cornered, how it tore through energy shields and bone alike. Then the human stepped forward. He was unarmored save for a torn pressure suit, his helmet cracked, his face smeared with blood and grease. Compared to the beast, he looked small, fragile, laughably unprepared. The aliens hissed and clicked in panic, begging him to stop, warning him that death waited inches away. They did not understand the way humans looked at wounded things, even monsters. They did not understand the weight of choice in a human chest when survival clashed with mercy. The human knelt beside the wolf, slowly, deliberately, his movements calm like one approaching a frightened animal. He spoke softly in a language no translator bothered to pause, his voice steady despite the danger. The wolf stirred, its massive head lifting just enough for one glowing eye to focus on him. A growl rolled through the corridor, deep and thunderous, promising annihilation. Alien soldiers raised their weapons, energy cells whining as they charged, ready to fire at the first sign of attack. The human did not flinch. He reached out and placed a bare hand against the wolf's blood-matted fur. The growl faltered, turning into a confused rumble as if the beast itself questioned this moment. Scans flickered across alien displays, showing fractures, burned tissue, and a failing heart. The deadliest wolf was dying not from battle, but from poison leaking through its veins from a ruptured engine core. The human cursed softly and rose to his feet. He slid his arms beneath the enormous body muscles, straining bones, protesting under impossible weight. The aliens cried out, certain they were about to witness a gruesome end. Instead, the human lifted. Veins stood out on his neck, his breath came in harsh gasps, but he did not let go. With a sound like grinding metal, he hoisted the wolf against his chest, his head lolling against his shoulder. The corridor fell silent except for alarms, and the distant groan of the ship tearing itself apart. The wolf did not attack. It rested there massive, and still one glowing eye half closed as if surrendering to exhaustion. The human staggered forward step by step, carrying the terror of the stars like a wounded child. Aliens parted in stunned disbelief. Some dropped their weapons, others recorded with shaking limbs, unable to comprehend what they saw. This creature had slaughtered entire boarding parties, reduced hardened warriors to screaming remnants. Yet here it was cradled in human arms, subdued not by force but by something far more unsettling. The human headed toward the medical bay, what remained of it. Doors hung, twisted cables sparked, overhead gravity fluctuated with every meter. He nearly fell twice, but each time he tightened his grip, refusing to abandon his burden. Blood from both man and beast streaked the floor, marking a path through the dying ship. Inside the bay, flickering lights revealed shattered equipment and a single functioning containment platform. The human laid the wolf down, gently ignoring the deep gashes now torn into his own arms by jagged armor plates. He worked with frantic precision, rerouting power, synthesizing antitoxins from alien compounds he barely understood. The wolf watched him, now fully alert, its massive chest heaving, its eye fixed on the human's face. Outside the bay, aliens gathered in fearful awe. They whispered that the human must be insane or blessed or both. Some believed he was performing a ritual, others thought this was a delayed execution more cruel than death. No one dared interfere. The ship shuddered violently, alarmed, screaming of imminent core collapse. Evacuation orders echoed through corridors, but the human did not move. He injected the antidote into the wolf's neck, pressing the wound closed with shaking hands. Minutes stretched like lifetimes. Then the wolf exhaled deeply. Its breathing steadied, its muscles relaxed, and its eye closed fully. Scanners confirmed the poison, receding, vital signs stabilizing. The deadliest wolf had been saved. The human collapsed beside it, exhausted, bleeding, barely conscious. Aliens rushed in at last, lifting him onto a stretcher while keeping a terrified distance from the beast. The wolf did not stay. Evacuation was chaotic. Escape pods launched in frantic succession, the Starship finally tearing itself apart in a silent explosion of light. One pod carried the human and the wolf together, secured in reinforced restraints. No one questioned the decision. When they reached the alien medical station, news spread like wildfire across the sector. Images of the human carrying the wolf replayed endlessly across networks. Scholars debated, military leaders panicked, civilians watched in stunned fascination. The wolf awoke hours later. It rose slowly, towering over medical staff who fled in terror. Then it turned toward the human lying unconscious nearby. It lowered its massive head and pressed its forehead gently against the human's chest. Scanners detected an unfamiliar neural pattern. The wolf had bonded. From that day forward, the deadliest wolf followed the human wherever he went. It defended him with unmatched ferocity, but never harmed another unless he commanded it. Alien empires rewrote their doctrines overnight. They learned that humans were not merely warriors or survivors. They were something far more dangerous. They were capable of carrying even the darkest monsters and turning them into allies. And across the stars, a new truth spread quietly with fear and wonder. Never underestimate a human, especially when they choose to care.